Well, hello, good evening. Y'all know who I am. If you don't, well, that doesn't really matter anyway. Big question is where the hell is my lighter? That's the big question. Uh, because I'm nervous, I wanted to do a dispelling thing. Predominantly because I want to talk about the novellas that I'm writing. I'm writing 7 novellas. Or possibly graphic novels, depending on if I get an artist that's interested in trying to actually draw out the storylines. But they are 7 X-rated novellas. They're X-rated. There's a reason why they became X-rated. Once upon a time, I used to write a lot, and one of the things that I'd always thought of when I used to write was that I wanted to write, if you could take stories and figure them as being like films with ratings, I wanted to write a story of every single type. I wanted to do a PG story, a G-rated story, an R-rated, PG-13, NC-17, and an X-rated story. I wanted to create an X-rated story, for an example, that actually had a story, that was a real full-on story that you could read, that had the X-rated element to it. The only thing that I knew about the X-rated story, for an example, was that I knew that I wanted to have BDSM to be the main ingredient of this X-rated, story that I was going to write. But I had all of these thoughts, like I said, for all of these things. And for reasons because of the fact of I've always been obsessed with the psychology of the characters, especially the bad characters. I love making bad guys that are really bad and evil. And one of the reasons is because the greatest thing that you can do in a story, if you pin a bad guy against a good guy, is to have the bad guy be very, very strong and powerful, and therefore also believable, to give you a good fight between those two characters. So, as I'm talking about all these story elements, what happened is over time, in all of this time that I haven't been writing, I had a whole lot of ideas for a bunch of different stories. And I had already come up with this idea for the characters that are in the novellas, and I had all these different ideas of what I could do with them. But even though I had these elements, for an example, of the idea of it being a kind of a mystery story, kind of a mystery story, a sci-fi story, why is it I can't think now? Mystery, sci-fi, a gangster story, an action adventure. I kind of wanted all of these elements to go together, and I loved the character that I created so much that I really wanted to branch all of these things in together. But one of the things that I found out was that it was really hard to put these things together and have it make sense. Well, that's when my X-rated idea came back in, and I realized that I could actually drop the X-rated element right down the middle and stick all of these things in together and make the whole thing work. So that's how this turned out. That's why it's an X-rated novella. The story has a lot of elements of BDSM, as much as I could do and make them be in the story while actually having them seem real to the story. Because I want the story to seem like a real life story, of course. And so that was my intention. The characters, the story it's very strong. There's a lot of rape and pillage in the story, and I don't apologize for that, because again, like I said, I made bad guys. If you break the bad guys in the story down into 2 categories, basically, on one side you'd have modern day pirates, and the other hand side you'd pretty much have modern day Vikings. They are rapers and pillagers. They are bad guys. So that's why there is a lot of rape and pillage inside of the stories. There is a lot of that element, and that's why. I want you to hate the bad guys, and please do. Just don't hate the writer. That's all that I'm asking, and don't pass judgment on me. Is pretty much all that I'm asking. All I want you to do is to be able, for those people that are willing, because obviously not everybody wants to sit down and watch or read or whatever a X-rated thing. Fine. I'm just giving you the warning now that it is 7 novellas. They are X-rated. There is a lot of sex. There is a lot of violence in the stories. And there's all these other elements that are added in. And I thought I came up with a really brilliant way of tying all of these things together. And they do work. That's one of the things that I loved about it. That's what made the story become an X-rated story, was because actually the BDSM element of the story is practically a character in the story, as well as, I can't really say too much more because I don't want to give the story away. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things involved, and that's pretty much all that I wanted to say about that. So what I'm hoping is that no one will pass a judgment call on me and just instantly, oh, I hate that guy because he wrote this dirty, nasty story or whatever. Yeah, it's a dirty, nasty story in parts, and then it's also a cool story in others. It has all of these aspects to it. Some of it is sexually exciting. Some of it is sexually nasty. You can't have a good sexual encounter and not have the other side, especially when you have two sides and two sets of characters. There are good guys in the story, there are bad guys in the story, and in the middle you have neutrals. And they're kind of all around there. Yes, there are women that are raped in the story. In fact, the main two female characters, which I think are awesome characters. They're great. I absolutely love the two characters especially. In fact, I love all the characters. All of the female characters in the story for the most part. Just about all of them I absolutely love. I think they're just fantastic. There are actually muses that actually helped me to kind of create these characters. I actually based them on certain people and wrote these characters around them to make these great characters. And they're strong, they're tough, they're intelligent, they're not... none of the women in the story are stupid. In a lot of ways, the women are very heroic. In a lot of ways, they're actually more heroic even than the main hero. If you want to call him a hero. He's actually more of an anti-hero, at least for a while. But I had to do the things that I did to the characters, and the things that I'm going to be doing to them are all... There is a reason behind everything that I do to them. Because just like a good Frank Capra movie, it's a Frank Capra porno. I'm sorry, just that thought. It's a Frank Capra porno. Yeah, see that as a Christmas special. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't going to laugh. I was going to keep this very serious because I am very serious about this stuff. But I'm sorry. Those images got me. The Frank Capra porno special, only on CBS. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to be serious again. I can't get that voice out of my head now. I can hear it. I can hear it on TV. Obviously, I'm nervous. I'm nervous doing this because the thing is that like I said, it's an X-rated story. I know people are going to pass judgment automatically just because it's an X-rated story. They're going to. There are those people that are going to be. That's just absolutely awesome. That's cool. I like it. I don't mind that it's X-rated. I don't mind all of this stuff. I think it all plays together great. It's awesome. And then there's those people that are going to just instantly go, "You wrote this X-rated thing. You're sick-minded. You're a sick fuck. That's what you are." Well, shit, I guess people are going to think what they want. But this is my only defense, is that I wanted to create a great story. I intended to do an X-rated story anyway. I just happened to find a way to put a whole bunch of elements that I liked into the story. So it is a 7-novella, or hopefully graphic novel. If a graphic novelist is interested, you can get a hold of me. But it has sex, it has violence, it has religion, it has a bunch of things all mixed inside of the storyline. And the reason is because I did try to make the whole thing as true to real life and many different real people as I could, while still having these horrible bad guys and some great good guys and, like I said, the middle ground characters. Other than that, all I can say is that I hope that you'll enjoy the stories, and I hope none of you will hate me just because I wrote such a thing, which is something that I had happen to me in the past, which is what stopped me from writing, was because of someone had automatically figured that apparently because of my obsession with making great bad guys, so I could create a great story of having good guys go at these bad guys and have a great fight. Apparently, I was some black-hearted, disgusting, nasty individual. Whatever. Nail me to the cross. Did you bring your hammer and nails? Basically, that's what it is. So, this is my X-rated story. I'll probably start working on, as soon as these stories are done, I'll probably work on something else, and it'll be totally different. But I love the characters. There is an element of sci-fi to the story. It is a sci-fi story. It is a mystery story. It is a gangster story. It is a story that has a almost a superhero feel to it. Not completely. Actually, my two characters are actually much more badass than most superheroes are. But that's basically it. So I hope that all of you will enjoy it, And those of you that don't want to have any part of it, please feel free, don't. And please just don't judge me. So that's all that I'm asking. And I'm also asking that nobody actually judge me anyway until you've actually gotten through. When I'm finished with all 7, yeah, I know you won't judge me. I love you. What I'm hoping is that no one will actually pass a judgment until they've actually, when I finish the 7th, then you can pass judgment and decide. Predominantly because there's a whole lot of things that are going to happen in the story, and there's reasons behind all of the things that happen. Nothing in the story is, yes, there is gratuitous violence and sex at times. Yes, it can be very graphic at times. I do it very unflinchingly. But at the same time, everything makes sense. There is nothing that happens for no reason. That's pretty much all that I wanted to say. So, with that set aside, I am going to be making some videos in the future of me reading the story. I thought about just putting the story up online, but the problem is that there's something that's a lot cooler, in a way, I guess you could think of as having the author of the story read the story to you. So you can actually hear me read the story and dramatize it how it should be. Not that I think anybody's idiots out there. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that sometimes it actually helps to have a story being read by the author who really wants people to understand the story and the characters. And that's one of the things that's really important to me, because also the characters themselves and their psychology and everything is very important to me and for the story. So there we go. That's all I had to say. I hope you all have a great rest of your night. And now that you're done having me bore the hell out of you, you can go on and do whatever until, and hopefully you'll tune back in some other time and hear some of my chapters, which I will read off a few of the chapters. I might even read the first book, just for the hell of it, since after all there's 6 more. There's 6 more, so I suppose I can read one, and then hopefully, again, if there's any graphic novelists that are interested in drawing out the pictures and making this as a graphic novel, I would definitely be interested in that, because I think that would be even better than just the straight novellas. But there you go. That's my 2 cents. So anyway, have a good night. Take care. Peace, love, joy. Kiss your wives, kiss your girlfriends, kiss your boyfriends, kiss your husbands. Have a great one.